Well, hello everyone. I first need to say that I have been messing with the lighting for this video for like at least 30 minutes, and I know it still looks pretty rough and it probably looks even worse on your computer. I apologize for that. I have no more time to mess with it. I just need to get this filmed. I want to get it filmed, and yeah, so I apologize right off the bat for the lighting because I know it's probably pretty awful. But today we are back with another Frightful Fridays. I'm very excited that you guys are loving this series and looking forward to the next video that I post about it. So that is what today's video is going to be. If you don't know what Frightful Fridays is, really quickly, Frightful Fridays is just a series that I do here on my channel where I take a certain topic. It could be related to a myth, a mythical creature, a legend, folklore, a spooky game, something paranormal, a ghost, a haunted place, whatever it is that's kind of otherworldly or by a vast majority of people thought to be unreal or something made up or something that is just told for fun and to spook people. We take some topic that is relating to something like that, deep dive into it, find maybe the origin of it, or just learn more about the topic. I tell you guys about it, and then it's totally up to you to decide if you believe in it or not, or if you want to do whatever it is that I'm talking about. So today we're going to have another video, another installment of that, and today's Frightful Fridays topic is the closet game. So keeping on the game trend, I know we've done Bloody Mary, we've done the elevator game, we've done the midnight game now as well, I think, and today we're going to be discussing the closet game. After this, I might be taking a little break on discussing games. I just don't want you guys to get sick of that, but if you like me discussing kind of these spooky paranormal games, please let me know, because there's so many of them that I could talk about, but I don't want to bore you guys just talking about these spooky games over and over again. So if you guys definitely want me to take a break on the games, I totally will. Just let me know in the comments below what you're thinking, what maybe some topics you would like me to discuss next would be. I'm totally open to all your guys' suggestions. Obviously, I want to put out content that you guys want to see, as well as content that obviously interests me, which this does, but please let me know if you're getting sick of the games or just what kind of topics you want me to discuss next for Frightful Fridays. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling and we're going to go ahead and just get on into it. Before we get started, I do want to give a little disclaimer. As always, if you are listening to me discuss any of these games, any of these scary creatures, any of these spooky anything, including the game I'm going to be discussing today, the closet game, just because I'm talking about it, it's purely for entertainment purposes. I don't encourage anyone out there to perform this ritual, perform any of the rituals we've discussed. I don't encourage anyone to play this game. I don't recommend anyone summon any demons or do any of the dangerous things that I'm talking about here. I know it's all for fun on this channel, but some of the things I discuss could actually be very dangerous if a person were to try it and attempt some of the things that I've been discussing. So I do want you guys obviously just to be as safe as possible and not put yourself in harm's way or put others in harm's way. So I do not recommend you doing this game at all, especially this one, as it can be very dangerous, and also you could potentially summon a demon into your home that will never leave you, or some type of dark entity that will never leave you. So there's even more of a spiritual tone behind this one as well, if you are someone who believes in that sort of thing. But regardless if you do or not, please do not play this game, and I don't recommend it at all. So getting into the closet game, this is a very popular game that has been circulating through the internet for some time now. The actual origin of the closet game is pretty much unknown, but it's widely believed that this closet game started out as a creepypasta, and then the creepypasta gained tons of popularity circulating through the internet and gained even more popularity from people trying it, of course, and attempting this game and performing this ritual. So that's kind of all we know about where the game came from, just another creepypasta, which is the case for a lot of spooky games. Now, this game, the main goal of this game is to essentially summon either a demon or some type of dark entity into your closet, and then later on into your home. This game really plays on the more childlike fear of monsters in your closet, the boogeyman in your closet, monsters under your bed, the creepy dark things that are hiding in the darkest corners of your house or of your room. This game really plays on the fears of those things. Now, this game can be played alone. You can just play it by yourself, or it can be played with multiple people, but we'll get into all of that in just a second. Now, in order to play this game, you will only need 2 materials. It's very easy to play or perform if you do choose to do this. All you're going to need is a book of matches. It has to be matches. You cannot use a lighter or any other type of lighting thing like that. You have to have matches, and then you need a closet, preferably a bedroom closet. It would probably typically be yours or the closet of whoever's house you might be at, or if you're spending the night somewhere. But you do need a closet. And those are the only two materials that you need for this game, which I think is another reason why it probably has gotten pretty popular, because just like last week's game, it can be played in the home and you barely need any materials, and the materials you need, you probably already have on hand. So on to the actual point. How do you perform this ritual? What happens? How do you play this game? So to begin this game, you need to make sure that it is nighttime. This game will not work during the daytime at all. It must be dark outside. I've seen some accounts also that say you have to begin it right at midnight, but I have seen some other accounts and game rules where as long as it's nighttime and as long as it's dark outside, people play this game. That's the only rule they follow as far as it being dark. So before you start playing this game, you're going to want to turn off all of the lights within the bedroom that the closet's in. The closet light needs to be off. Like I said, the bedroom lights need to be off, and you also need to make sure that you preferably turn off, but at least silence any electronic devices, because if there is any light at all shown during this game, this will not work at all. So it needs to be completely pitch black. Like I said, even electronics and things like that cannot light up, so it would be in the player's best interest to just go ahead and turn everything off and just not even risk anything lighting up or getting any notifications or anything like that, because then the game is essentially null and void. So you want to make sure you follow those rules. So once you have all of the lights off, you're going to take your book of matches, holding onto them, and you are going to open the closet door, and you're going to enter inside the closet and then close the door behind you, making sure that once you shut the door, you are facing the door. So you're facing the door that leads to the outside of the closet. And as always, it must be completely dark in the closet, no visible light, no light from outside, you know, in the bedroom or like shining through the cracks of the door. Pitch black. So once you're in the closet, everything's dark. Make sure, like I said, you're facing the door, and you are to stand in silence and darkness for at least 2 minutes. You're obviously going to probably have to count this in your head. Not that it's that difficult, but you will need to be standing in the silent darkness for at least the 2 minutes. Sometimes more, sometimes less for certain people, depending on this next step. Also, while you are standing there, it is very important that you are completely silent and make no moves. You should not move your body. You should not look behind you. Do not make any noises. Do not make any sounds or anything. Just completely still and silent. I cannot stress that enough in the rules of this game. And once you are sure you have stood there in silence for at least 2 minutes or over 2 minutes, this is when the gameplay comes in. So after you've stood in silence and in the total darkness, not spoken a word, you're going to take out your book of matches, which you should already have, and hold a match up, being ready to light it. Don't actually light it yet, but hold it up and have it ready. And then once you've stood there for the 2 minutes, you have your matches ready, you are going to say the phrase, "Show me the light or leave me in the darkness." So once you have said that phrase, it is now time for you to stand in darkness and silence once again and simply wait. You need to stand perfectly still, just like you were before, and just wait in the silence, ready to light your match, because you have now uttered this phrase. Now, what are you waiting for? You're basically waiting to hear what many people describe as whispers in the darkness. Now, there's a couple different accounts of what people have experienced when they've been in this closet and been waiting in the silence to light their match. We'll get into that in just a minute, but the most common theme here is that people are going to be waiting to hear these whispers. These whispers could be very faint, or they could be very pronounced and you could hear them a lot louder. They could be one person whispering or multiple people. All different instances are described by people who have allegedly played this game. But it is very important that when you're standing there, if you hear the whispers, you must light your match immediately. And that's why I was saying have it held and ready to light. That is the rules of the game, of course, not just me making that up, but you need to have it ready, because if you hear the whispers, you must immediately light your match. Immediately. Do not hesitate, light it right away. If you do not light the match quick enough after hearing the whispers, it is said that some evil force, dark entity, possibly a demon, will actually grab you from behind and pull you into essentially a very dark realm. Some people even describe they're being pulled to hell. All different types of just dark other realms is what you will be pulled to if you don't light your match in time. So that's why there's a heavy emphasis on making sure you light it right away when you hear the whispers, because in a split second you could be allegedly pulled to another dimension, a dimension of eternal darkness, negativity, and just anything that you would not want to experience. So make sure you light your match. as quick as possible. Now this all is, of course, if you hear whispering. You must make sure you are waiting there in silence from the minute you begin this ritual, and whether you have to light the match or not. It was very heavily emphasized that you never, ever, 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 ever look behind you, regardless of what's happening. If you hear the whispers, if you feel something brush up against you, it was just very heavily emphasized that you never look behind you for any reason at all. If you're standing in the closet after you have spoken the phrase, "Show me the light or leave me in darkness," and you've held up your match and you're standing there, you've done everything right, you don't hear any whispering, you don't hear any snickering or anything like that, and also the match does not ignite on its own, make sure you remain in the closet a little bit longer and listen really hard for the whispers, but ultimately, whether you hear them or not, never, ever, ever look behind you. Now, if you've waited for a long time and you have not heard the whispers at all, it is now time for you to light your match as well. So even though you had to wait a little longer and you didn't hear anything, ultimately you need to light your match. And then regardless of if you've heard the whispers and that's why your match is lit, or if you've been standing there and haven't heard anything, once your match is lit, you need to make sure that you keep it lit. If it goes out, you need to immediately light another one. Make sure you do not blow your match out and make sure it does not go out. Like I said, if it does, you need to make sure you immediately light that second match and just have matches ready to go, as they do burn down, different than what would happen if you were holding a lighter or something. But just make sure, whether you heard the whispering or not, once you end up lighting the match, which will happen in both cases, just make sure that you have, a secondary one ready to go for when the match goes out. Also, it has been reported that something else might blow your match out, not you necessarily, but just the ultimate theme here is to just always make sure that you light a new one. There wasn't a lot of clarity on how long exactly you perform this ritual and how long you stay in the closet, whether you have to light the match because you hear the whispering or not. I know some people, once they light it, would probably be pretty freaked out and ready to leave the closet. From what I gathered, you can kind of decide on your own when you want to leave the closet. I think the main theme here is that regardless of what you hear or don't hear, to follow all the steps, follow all the rules correctly, perform the ritual correctly, and the amount of time you spend in the closet really isn't as big of a deal because of whether or not you're going to be hearing the whispering while you're in there. So from there, whether you've had to, or whether you've heard the whispering or not, when you are ready to end the game and leave the closet, this is what you need to do. So remember, your match must always be lit, and so when you are holding your lit match in front of you and you decide to end the game, end the ritual, and exit the closet, you simply open the door, making sure to keep the match lit the whole time, but you open the door and you step outside, again, always making sure to never look behind you, and then immediately close the door behind you. So you probably have to do one of these, like open and then shut it behind your back, because it's, like I said, very, very focused on never looking behind you, even when you're exiting the closet and ending the game. So you simply open the door, step out, close the door behind you, making sure your match is lit the whole time. If your match goes out during the process of you ending the game, light another one. Make sure you never look inside the closet during this process as well, or behind you, but inside the closet at all, which at that point would be behind you. But you get what I'm saying. The main theme here is to never leave yourself in the darkness. Now, you have ended the game at this point, but the closet and probably your life as well, it is reported, will never be the same again. So basically, even though you've ended the game, you followed all the rules correctly, you never left yourself in the darkness, you never let the match go out. The whole point of you performing this ritual in the first place is to invite a demon or a dark entity or dark things from another realm into your home. So by doing this, you've simply done that. So even though you have ended the closet game, the whole point of you doing it was to invite these things into your home. Therefore, even though the game is over, very spooky, creepy, crazy things could still happen. Now, if you have played this game, it is said from here on out, from the entire rest of your life, that you are never supposed to look in your closet again with the light off. Anytime you go in your closet or look in your closet, you are supposed to do it with the lights on. It is also said that when you're sleeping at night or when it's just dark in your home, to never ever leave your closet door open. Never basically leave your closet door open if it is dark. Whether that be dark outside or dark in your room or dark in the closet, all options should be considered. You just essentially want to make sure that the light is always on when looking inside your closet and that the door is always closed, especially at night. Like I said, this is all because you have performed this ritual and essentially summoned a dark entity into your home, specifically into your closet. So you must follow the rules afterwards to make sure that you don't encounter this entity, or that he doesn't get let out, or that it doesn't get let out into your home or is able to escape the closet. Hence why I'm saying keep it shut, never look in it when it's dark. These are all rules. It is also said that this dark entity will remain there forever. Once you summon it, it will be there forever. It will never leave. Never even open your closet door before you turn the light on. Just essentially never let it be dark in your closet while you're looking in there. So many people report after performing this ritual just experiencing all kinds of just scary and spooky paranormal activity throughout their whole home. One common theme that has been reported amongst several individuals who have allegedly played this game is that when they look into their closet when it's dark, they see a pair of glowing red eyes just staring back at them. Of course, this is, like I said, if the closet is dark, but that is one thing that multiple people report seeing, and just feeling that energy coming from their closet if they make the mistake of looking in there while it is dark. Other paranormal experiences include like seeing shadow people in the corners of their homes, in the darkest corners of their rooms, just feeling like they're always being watched, feeling this overwhelming dark presence in their home, kind of like a dark cloud looming situation. All of these have been reported by people who have allegedly played this game and experienced the aftermath of summoning a demon. There was one account that I found of a person who was playing this ritual, or who was doing this ritual with her friends as well. And when you do this, you, like I said, can have multiple people, but each of you go into the closet alone. And that is a very important theme here. And one of the friends reported allegedly feeling cold fingers brush up against them right after they said the phrase. They reported that it was one of the scariest moments of their entire life. So that's why I said earlier, it might not be just whispers that you hear. You might actually feel something. And like I said, in the moment, it's very easy to get freaked out and look behind you, but there is a very, very strong rule to not look behind you, but lots of creepy things can happen, so I can see how people would accidentally look behind them. But that is another experience that someone has allegedly had while playing this game, which I cannot even imagine how spooky that would be, to feel cold fingers brushed up against you. No, thank you. There are other accounts of people who have allegedly performed this ritual and have reported right after saying the phrase and being in the darkness, they felt woozy, they felt faint, they felt nauseated, all kinds of just sickening feelings have overcome them right after repeating the phrase. I think these are all very big indicators of just inviting something evil and negative into your life. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much the ritual. It's pretty straightforward. I hope I did a good job explaining it, and I hope I did a good job deterring you from performing it. I mean, if you're just really about summoning dark entities into your life, maybe this is for you. But like I said, I don't recommend it. I don't think you should play it. Just please never do this ritual. Just never do anything like this. Like I said, this is purely for entertainment purposes. It's kind of fun, and I love spooky stuff. It's fun to learn about new spooky things and kind of think about all the possibilities that are out there, but that does not mean that you should put yourself in danger. That does not mean you should burn your house down, etc., because obviously there's matches involved in a very small space in the darkness where you have clothes which are probably flammable. So not only from a paranormal standpoint, but from a safety standpoint, please do not do this. I don't recommend this, but I do hope that you enjoyed learning about it, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I kept you entertained, and I hope I kept you on your toes a little bit. Anyway, either way, I just hope that you really enjoyed this topic, and thank you so much to my subscribers who are commenting on these videos and who just really love them and who are telling me that they love them. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate your feedback and you just watching these videos. I'm so glad that there's people out there who enjoy them. And then, of course, like I said, if you have suggestions for future topics, please let me know so that I can talk about what you're interested in. But other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so, so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye!